I still remember the exact beach morning it started. It was a breezy weekend in Miami when my 9-year-old son Diego ran up from the sand, bucket swinging, face lit up like Christmas. "Dad," he declared, dumping shells on the picnic blanket. "I figured out what I'm going to do with my life." I lowered my sunglasses, expecting something Miami kid normal, like pro surfer or chef. "I'm going to be a professional seashell collector," he said. I chuckled, ruffling his hair. "Not any shells. The ones that look like musical notes or tiny instruments. I'm going to collect a full symphony." He grabbed his bucket and raced back to the tide line. Hours later he returned, bucket overflowing with delicate shells, some curved like treble clefs, others flat like cymbals. I nodded, hiding my grin. That's where the collection took over. Our back patio became his workshop. He sorted them on trays labeled with masking tape: trumpet row, drum section, violin choir. The place smelled like salt and low tide by day 3. My wife, who runs a small catering business, kept saying, "He's expressing himself, let it breathe." Easy advice when you're not the one tripping over shell shards. Every afternoon after school, Diego would bike to the beach and come home sandy, pockets rattling. The patio was wall-to-wall shells in weeks. I convinced myself it was temporary, something he'd swap for video games by middle school. The school notice changed everything. His teacher called me in for a quick chat. "Diego's trading seashells at lunch. A symbol shell supposedly boosts sports scores." Half the class was handing over fruit snacks and Capri Suns. He tracked trades in a waterproof notebook like a conductor keeping score. I pulled him aside that night on the patio. "Son, maybe we try baseball or band. Normal kid stuff." He met my eyes, serious as a storm. "Dad, these shells sing. They're going to make us rich." I felt that familiar mix of frustration and secret admiration twist in my gut. Then the community art walk along the boardwalk changed the game. Diego had laid out his best shells in musical patterns on a towel, tiny signs explaining each note. I hung back by a food truck, pretending to study the menu. A stylish woman in linen approached. She introduced herself as the director of a beachfront contemporary gallery. She listened rapt as Diego explained ocean symphonies and how each shell held sound energy. She was sold. A week later she invited him for a small installation in her Coastal Echoes show. I laughed it off on the phone. Diego didn't. He spent the week rinsing shells in vinegar, polishing them with coconut oil, rewriting every label in elegant script. We showed up opening night at the airy gallery overlooking the waves. I expected light crowds and tourist small talk. The space filled with locals and tourists sipping wine. Smiles turned to serious nods, then purchases. A couple paid $275 for a grand piano shell arrangement that honestly looked random to me. Every piece sold. Diego banked $2,600 at 9 years old. I stood frozen, watching buyers line up to shake his hand. By the next month the gallery ordered more. A Miami Herald piece called it poetic sustainable sound art. Invites arrived from Fort Lauderdale and Key West spaces. Now Diego is 15. He operates a full coastal art business from our patio studio. He has a website, subscription boxes for mini symphonies, and a packed event calendar. Colleges are already scouting his portfolio for scholarships. I still find stray shells in my shoes sometimes and smile at how close I came to shutting it down. My wife teases that I finally learned to hear the music. She's right. One seashell at a time, my boy taught me that the ocean's weird gifts can turn into real symphonies. I almost missed the whole concert trying to keep things ordinary.